Please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to the founder of Vacuum and Business Law, the ever-glamorous Penina Shepherd.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Wow, what a fantastic room. It's lovely to see so many of you here today. Today I want to talk about something that I think is a groundbreaking change in the business world. So much so that I've spent a considerable amount of time this year writing a book about it, as Ibrahim said. And I call that groundbreaking change the Freedom Revolution. There is a revolution happening in the business world, and most of us haven't even noticed it. And the people at the forefront of the revolution are doing extremely well in business. And this is true both for people who set up businesses as well as to change makers and high flyers within existing businesses. And if you want to fly high in the revolution era, you have to shift your business mindset to another dimension. You have to get rid of all your business preconceptions that weigh you down and join the revolution. And there is still time to do that, to transform your business and career. Now, the thing that goes to the heart of the Freedom Revolution is the following question. How would you complete the next sentence? If money was no object, I would what? If money was no object in your business or career, what would you do? Well, that was a question that I was asking myself when I was working as a corporate lawyer at top 100 law firms. I was a partner, I was head of department, I was earning a good salary, I was ticking all the corporate ladder boxes. I tried as much as I possibly can to make sure that I maintain a good life-work balance, that business and pleasure kept well apart, but something was missing. I was going through the motions and I was doing well objectively in my career, but I wasn't truly happy. And in my desperate pursuit of that missing piece of the jigsaw, I kept moving jobs, looking for that missing piece at the next appointment. I kept thinking, oh, in my new job, maybe I'll get higher status, therefore I'll have higher pay, and, I'll live happily ever after. But every time I moved, that missing piece of the jigsaw, whatever I was looking for, wasn't there. But what I realized, that I wasn't the only one who was experiencing this. The average number of years that employees stay in their jobs is 4.6 years. This is American statistics, but it is also true for this country. They're very similar statistics. So there were many other people like me who kept jumping ship, looking for whatever it is they were looking for at the next appointment. But you see, what became apparent at the revolution is that we were all looking for the wrong thing. Therefore, it's not surprising that we didn't find it, evidently, otherwise we wouldn't keep moving. Well, you see, before the revolution, careers were all about climbing up the career ladder. And what are career ladders all about? Higher status and therefore higher pay. So it was primarily about climbing up a corporate ladder to make more money as you climb up. But that's true not just about careers only. It is also true about businesses. Outside the revolution, the idea of setting up in business, the mindset was primarily, I'm going to leave my job, start working for myself so I can make a lot more money for myself rather than for somebody else. So both careers and businesses were seen primarily as a means, as a tool to make money. Now, and that used to be seen quite entrepreneurial. In fact, if you look at that career ladder and the setting up in business, these people were seen quite entrepreneurial. I remember people used to say that to me. Used to say, as I was climbing up my corporate ladder, they used to say, oh, you've been quite entrepreneurial. But was I being entrepreneurial? So I went and looked up at the definition of an entrepreneur in the dictionary. And it is defined as a person who sets up a business or businesses, taking on financial risks in the hope of more profit. That and nothing else. So to be an entrepreneur, you have to set up a business and hope to make more profit. Well, I can see why people thought I was being entrepreneurial. You know, climbing up my corporate ladder, hopefully higher status, more pay. But I don't think this is the correct definition of an entrepreneur. I don't believe this is a true definition of an entrepreneur. And therefore, I don't think I was being entrepreneurial at all. In fact, I think I was being an entrepreneur. I really do. And I define an entrepreneur in my book. An entrepreneur is a person in business who is selling themselves short by giving up on their passion, their purpose, their dreams in return for the hope of making profit. And that was me climbing up my corporate ladder, hoping for higher status and more pay. So you see, before the revolution, the drive in business was money. Everything was about money. Money was the goal. Money was the aim. Now, this is a really crucial point that I want to make. One thing I'm definitely not saying, I'm not saying that business people in the revolution don't care about making money, don't want to make money, don't make money. It couldn't be more the opposite. People in the revolution not only want to make money, they're doing extremely well. But there is one crucial difference. Making money is a desirable outcome. It's almost an inevitable outcome. But it is no longer the drive. It is no longer the aim. Because if making profit is our only aim, then we will never be truly free. Never be truly free to pursue our passion and our dreams. Think of those people who keep moving jobs every 4.6 years. Do they get more money as they move from one job to another? I think we can all assume that most of them do. But what sort of lives do they live? Their lives are constantly on hold in 4.6 years chunks, hoping to, in the next chunk, to find that happiness or whatever it is that they're looking for. But of course, they never do. They're never truly free. They're trapped. And they're trapped in the rat race. And you show me one rat racer who is happy. But again, that's not true just about people in careers. It is also true about people in business. People in business outside the revolution equally trapped in the rat race. It is all about finding the next big deal, squeezing down the supplier's margin as much as we possibly can. Brilliant, that means I can make a lot more money. If I can get away with paying my people as less as possible, fantastic, more money for me. And frankly, some of them are walking around just looking forward to be bought out. Get this hassle over and done with. They are equally trapped in the rat race. So you see, before the revolution, we were all entrepreneurs. But then there was a coup. Then came the revolution. And in the coup, something really interesting happened. Money was no longer the king. Money was no longer the drive. It was no longer the aim. It was replaced with something else. And if you don't believe me, well, have a look for yourself. Here is a person at the forefront of the freedom revolution, one of the co-founders of Google. Listen to what he's saying. Our intense and enduring interest was to objectively help people find information efficiently, from providing people with life-saving information to helping break down global barriers. Money is not mentioned anywhere. Listen to what was the drive. Our intense and enduring interest was to help people find information. That was the drive. Did he want Google to make money? I'm betting he did. Is Google making money? I think we all know the answer to that. But money was an inevitable outcome. It was a desirable outcome. It wasn't the drive. Another person at the forefront of the revolution. Listen what his biographer says about him. Bill Gates is a visionary, inspiring people to join him on epic adventures to change the world. Now listen to the next sentence. He is not a seeker of fame or fortune, although he has both. He is a maker of impact. Technology is his way, and reducing inequalities in the world is his gain. No sign of dollars anywhere. His aim, his passion, his drive behind setting up Microsoft was to take all of us on an epic journey to change our lives, and he succeeded in that. He is not a seeker of fortune. He is a maker of impact. That was the passion. That was the drive. Making money, did he want Microsoft to make money? Again, I'm guessing he did. Is Microsoft making money? Absolutely. But that was a desirable outcome. That wasn't the drive. One other example, Mark Zuckerberg. If you just work on stuff that you like and you're passionate about, you don't need to have a master plan with how things will play out. Listen to what he's saying. If you just work on stuff that you're passionate about, not if you just work on stuff that will make you lots of money. I have a whole chapter in my book how I explain that when you set up a business or you're a change maker within a business, following your passion, that you arrive at it with a built-in business and marketing plan already in place. But for the purpose of our conversation, it is about you following your passion. It's not about money. Money was just an outcome. Did he want Facebook to make money? Yes. Is Facebook making money? Absolutely. But that wasn't the drive. And we don't even have to go that far afield. There are people in this room who are at the forefront of the revolution. You're going to hear from Kevin Byrne later on. I'm very fortunate that Kevin is a good friend of Acumen. We've been working together for many years, and I'm familiar with the Checkatrade story. Kevin was so passionate about setting up Checkatrade, and you will hear all about the passion later. And Ibrahim already told you about Kevin's passion for the Checkatrade Foundation. Did Kevin want Checkatrade to make money? I'm guessing he did. Is Checkatrade doing extremely well? Well, you're going to hear all about that in a minute. But that wasn't the drive. That was a desirable outcome and an inevitable outcome. So I said there was a coup, and money was replaced by something else. And if you're wondering what that something else is, then look in the mirror. Money was in the revolution is replaced with you. Your passion, your dream, your purpose. Talking of purpose, this is a book that I strongly recommend, a fantastic book by Aaron Hurst, The Purpose Economy. Listen to what he's saying. Purpose, purpose everywhere. And if some of you read it, he spent a lot of time in his book backing up his claims with research. And the next sentence he's saying in his book, I think, is absolutely groundbreaking. Entrepreneurs are all driven by the pursuit of purpose, and together they create the purpose economy. Entrepreneurs are all driven by the pursuit of purpose, since when? Ask any kid in the street, what are business people in pursuit of? They'll tell you money. Because that's what we're used to outside the revolution. It was all about pursuing money, pursuing profit. You saw the definition, the dictionary definition of entrepreneur. But no more. Now, in the revolution, entrepreneurs are in pursuit of profit. He actually says it at the bottom 2 lines of his front book. I've got it here for you. What it is all about, it is about how your desire for impact, personal growth, and community is changing the world. Money is not mentioned anywhere. It's about your desire for impact, your personal growth, and how what you do have an impact on your community. And you saw that with Kevin, just an example here today, how he uses Checkatrade to impact the community. So I believe the definition of an entrepreneur, or as I call them in my book, free entrepreneurs, and I define it as a creator and a change maker in business. And notice that I'm not saying a person who sets up a business. What a narrow-minded definition of an entrepreneur. There are fantastic change makers within businesses who are doing amazing stuff. I haven't got time today to look into it, and I talk about it in length in my book. And they are equally entrepreneurs. So for me, a true free entrepreneur is a creator and a change maker in business who takes on reputational, emotional, and financial risk to be free. To be free to pursue their passion, their dream, with the hope of applying the profit that they make along the way to change both their own lives as well as other people's lives. I believe that is a definition of an entrepreneur. So as you can see, there's been a lot of change. There's many, many more examples in the business world. So how did that change come about? How did it become possible? Well, just like any change, it is the change makers of the world, and in this case, the business world, who came on the scene and revolutionized the way we see business. They made it clear that business is no longer just about setting up a business with the hope of making profit and nothing more, like that definition of an entrepreneur. They made us realize that being in careers is not about climbing up some invisible corporate ladder with heads simply stuck in paychecks. They made us realize that being in business, it's actually about our dreams. And it's about, in the revolution, not only are we encouraged to dream, we're actually encouraged to follow our dreams. We use our businesses and our careers as an extension of ourselves to make something meaningful. Think of all the examples we gave here. These people use their careers, their businesses, to make something meaningful, to make an impact. They pursue their dreams. And I'm very proud and honored to be able to stand here and say that I see it at Acumen on a daily basis. We've got some fantastic change makers in Acumen. They do great stuff. And you know, so often when I go to a networking event, or networking events, people come to me and say, oh, I've met your people, they're lovely. And of course, I'm always really grateful because I know they mean well. But they're not my people. They are their own people with their own dreams. Now, our dreams are aligned, which I think it's a must for any working place to work in harmony, that you share the same core values with your colleagues. But they've got their own dreams. But when you put all these dreams together, you can really make something powerful, something different. And I remember when I started Acumen Business Law, I had my dream. And as I was saying, I was working for top 100 law firms, but I was really frustrated with the legal industry. I kept thinking there must be a different way, surely, to provide legal services. And my dream was to change the way in which legal services are provided in the marketplace. That was my dream. But you know what's the first thing that happens when you want to follow your dream? I'm sure you've all been there in this room. What's the first thing that happens to you when you want to follow your dream? You're faced with fear. And I'm convinced that fear has the best lawyers working for it, because it always comes to you with a list of the most reasonable, fantastic, persuasive arguments why you shouldn't follow your dreams. And that was in my case. I had such a long list of reasons why I shouldn't follow my dream. It was because I was a partner in an established law firm with a good salary. Why give this up? Because it would be too hard. Because trying to innovate in the legal industry would be a lost cause. Because the legal industry doesn't like change. I'll probably be laughed at with all the ideas that I had in my head. Because I have a shoestring budget, how on earth am I going to set up a law firm? Because I had no potential partners at the time to set up the firm with, and going it alone was just crazy. Not many people set up a law firm on their own. Because ethically and morally, I didn't want to poach clients from my previous law firms. So it meant I had to start completely from scratch. Because there were so many established law firms around me that would become my competitors. And their phones were ringing just by virtue of their existence. Because I only specialized in commercial contracts. So being a one-person law firm, I wouldn't be able to provide inclusive business law services. Because we were experiencing the worst recession in decades. I set up Acumen Business Law in September 2007, and I'm sure many of you remember, the whole world collapsed around us. Because I just had a newborn baby and 2 other young children at home. Who set up a business in these circumstances? Because I was the main breadwinner, so my family was relying on me. Because I've just been diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of cancer, and just been to see my doctor who told me I'm very unlikely to survive. So, as you can see, my fear too was armed with the most fantastic arguments why I shouldn't follow my dreams. But you know what? Everything you want is always on the other side of fear. That's always the case. And whenever I give talks and people ask me about fear, the tip I give them is just, when you have fear going in your head, all these reasons I mentioned make so much noise in your mind. So I just say, just stop for a minute, just pause, silence the mayhem in your head, and just ask yourself one question. Well, what's the worst that can happen? And so often it's actually not that bad, definitely not bad enough for you not to pursue your dreams. And also, fear is often about money. But I've got some good news. In the freedom revolution, profits follow passion. You've seen it in these examples. Later on, my colleague Chris Boakes will have a short news bulletin, and he will tell you our financial year finished in March. He will tell you about the fantastic year and growth that we've had. Profits follow passion. But there's something else that follows passion, and that's your pioneer groupies. When you're pursuing your passion, you have your pioneer groupies who are, we call them our acumen family, our acumen tribe. They love what you do. They love your passion. They love talking about you. And they go and tell everyone about you. They become your best sales force. And they do it out of their own accord. You don't have to go and say to them, look, if you recommend Acumen, Lindsay, I'll give you 5%. You're not in that space in the Freedom Revolution. People love recommending you because of what you do. I remember when I started Acumen and when I started also having colleagues working with us, we were working with the cutting edge businesses. And they said to us, you're like a breath of fresh air. We love what you do. And they went and told everyone about us. If you want to understand pioneer groupies, if business was a school trip, they'll be the cool kids at the back. And do you know what that means? Everyone wants to be like the cool kids. Think of Apple. When they launched their new products, they based their marketing on their pioneer groupies. These are the people who know exactly what products will be launched, what are the specifications. They're the people who queue all night outside the shop so they can be the first one to get the product. On the other side of the scale, there are the rear guards. These are the people who still have their VCR flashing 12 in their living room. Apple is not going to base their marketing campaign on them. But the beauty of the Freedom Revolution is that you start with your pioneer groupies, and then other communities start to join them because they say, oh, I like what these cool guys are doing. I want to do that. And then even people in the rear guards community do it. Again, with Acumen, it was our pioneer groupies to start with. Later, other business communities started to join us. And now we comfortably work with many business communities within the rear guards community of business. So profits follow passion. Pioneer groupies follow passion. Many other things follow passion, and I haven't got time to talk about it today. I talk about it in my book. But I will mention one thing. Innovation follows passion. And innovation in business is so important. Businesses outside the revolution do standard stuff. And standard is mediocre by definition. But in the revolution, in a world of black and white, be ginger. Do something different. In the revolution, you can stand up with your fire color hair and all your beautiful freckles and really stand out. And do you know why you can do it in the revolution? Remember the very first question. If money was no object, what would you do? Well, guess what? In the revolution, money is no object. No longer. It's your passion. And that's where you can stand out. So, in the revolution, you can really do things that are remarkable, that are truly worth remarking on. And in the revolution, it's so much easier to be innovative. And if you want to know why, I've got a really clever guy to tell you why. Maybe. Yes. Because everything that is really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can labor in freedom. If you work in freedom, if you are free in pursuing your passion, you create great and inspiring stuff. You can be a change maker in business. And change making happens when people fall in love with a different version of their future. And in the Freedom Revolution era, more and more people are falling in love with a different version of their business future. And do you know, when you're fueled with passion and you pursue your career and your business, fueled with drive and passion, you feel alive like you've never felt before. You literally feel enlightened, present, full of consciousness. Working doesn't feel like work anymore. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It doesn't matter what time it is. You will talk to anyone who would listen about you pursuing your passion. And it is then when you know that fear, that fear I was talking about, now freedom trumped fear. So, and at that moment, you just know you can do it. You can follow your dreams. We all live once, so set yourself free, get rid of your business shackles, and join the revolution. Thank you very much.